for that. We are going to have to cover up those holes eventually. He is seeking his infant. All of our idlers have been given a job so far. I am going to have to increase these stockpiles very, very soon. One of the things that will help with that, though, is a lot of these squares seem to be taken up by random assortments of clothes that we have stolen from the Dusk Elves and from our old people that died. And dwarves will claim that, but because they have nowhere to put it but on their own bodies, and they can only wear so much, they're throwing it in the stockpile area. And once we do get the bedrooms made, I will be giving them cabinets and stuff like that to store their own stuff in for themselves. So that will clear up a lot in the stockpiles. But by that point, we will be making stockpiles again ourselves. So, you know, that's neither here nor there. Also, is that a giraffe? What the fuck is that? So how are they doing on digging out? They are almost done. One more. Very good. Now we can set the miners to get next floor down. Good, good. We'll have you just do this. Keep going. I always have to designate this. That's one of the things that's always bugged me. Is actually, I'll set that to be designated, and then I'll just. Because that should go first. I'm pretty sure stuff that's above other stuff goes first, but I could be wrong. You know, I usually am when it comes to stuff like that. So, are those going to be the ones that go first? There is an imp in that again. Motherfucking imp. So yeah, it is going to be another episode. Quite a lot in this set. I will admit that it's not usually how many. This isn't usually how many I do straight. So nothing to catch in the northeastern swamps. And I'm hoping that we do get everything set up before the next. What was I going to build? Mechanics workshop, right? Because I want to be able to make a lever, which we will put, you know, pretty much where everybody will be. The fuck is the mechanics workshop? Come on. There it is, taste. I was skipping through it while I was talking. And limonite blocks? Nope. Andesite. Sorry. I don't feel like using anything like the blocks and stuff, because I feel like those are worth more. Also, so yeah, it looks like we are getting really close to getting done with the digging there, and once we do get that, I will stop paying as much attention to the miners as I have been, because then I can just send them off underground to start working on the bedrooms and stuff like that without having to worry as much in that area until we want to actually place the bedrooms and stuff like that down. So we won't have to pay as much attention to the miners very soon as we have been in this series so far, and that will probably be a major turning point that will require much celebration among other things. I'm actually enjoying the progress we've made in this set of videos. I mean, we've dug a lot down. We've actually got the moat field. I've set up bedrooms and stuff like that. That for me was that took me like an hour and a half to get that all down, because I had to look up fractal patterns and stuff like that, and then type it in. And we've got another set of migrants. We have gone from 26 dwarves to 35. We've gotten 9 more in this wave. For some reason, both of those have a bold name. I think the bold names means they're children. I wasn't too sure on that before, but I'm pretty sure that is now. Because neither of these have any sort of skills and stuff like that. And I don't know that you can actually give children jobs in Dwarf Fortress, especially dwarf therapists. But it requires a little bit of glitching, and I don't much care for that because it just feels wrong. Anyway, so let us see. Wave 27. Why are the waves all messed up? That's one of the things I want to know. But never mind. So it looks like fuck it. We'll figure out what all we've got here in a minute. So one of the next things that I do want to do is I do want to get the walls built. That is one of the big things that we're going to need to do, because I mean, we do have the lava moat, but that doesn't mean much unless we get walls put around it, because if we don't, people like, especially elves are notorious for it, will come here with bows and then they'll just fucking shoot us and it won't even matter, because I mean, there will still be people working up here on the surface. So I will be getting the walls up and I will be starting to train a military. I am wanting to fight people. I like to fight. Will not lie about that. At least as far as Dwarf Fortress goes. In real life, it's kind of mad, but as far as Dwarf Fortress goes, I do want to get into a lot of fights. I do want to have a lot of conflict, mainly because I do enjoy the spoils of war, which are mainly the equipment that the people send in after us. And looking at what the Dusk elves were wearing and have brought with them, it does kind of indicate that they have a fairly large supply of metal, which I do not have. So if we can get the walls up, if we can actually get us built like walls and have them funneled in through something that we can take the advantage on, we can not have to mine as much and be more of a combat-based economy instead of a digging one. I mean, once we get that going too, we can also start looking underground, and then we can start getting much more aggressive on two fronts, the surface and below ground. But we'll try to keep that to a minimum. That is pretty much my thought process on what we're doing. So, not really thought process, but plan for what we're doing. Excusez-moi. Excusez-me. Escúchame. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. And he loses his baby like every other fucking day. My god. So, where are we? We are in Midsummer. That is good. Midsummer. We should be getting another migrant. Okay, we just got the migrant wave. I'm trying to remember the calendar real quick. And that's another migrant wave. If we're going to be getting a siege or anything like that, we should be getting that at the end of this season. So we do have the lava moat, but we do not have the mechanics workshop built. Do we? Do we not? We don't have a mechanic. So let's go to Dwarf Therapist. Let's actually let that keep going. Dwarf Therapist. Let's see if we can get somebody with mechanic skills. This guy has them. I'll just add pump operator and all that to them. We don't need pumps per se. I usually do like having pump operators in my own games to pump up lava from the below ground to kind of sustain my fort. Or I've showed one of the old forts that I have in the past that one of my favorites actually, that I actually pumped lava up onto the surface because I made an actual town and buildings, and it was a building that had magma in it on every other floor besides the the stairway up and down, so that I could have an above ground magma furnace, which is kind of really unique. That I think it's something that I really enjoyed making, because to me it felt like a pretty decent accomplishment, because it was just kind of cool to have that. But in this scenario we don't need it, so we don't necessarily need pump operators as much as we do in other games, or not really other games, but in other times. So that is that. Also, I do like having the volcano there, because I feel like if things get really bad and everything kind of and I get down to like absolutely nothing and we're getting slaughtered in our own town, I can just like unleash the magma on myself. So I'm gonna have to, in order to kind of prevent any other mishaps, I'm gonna actually channel out this area first. Which, I mean, isn't really going to cause that much of an issue for us to do. It's just something to keep any more holes from getting, sprung. And all this is going to have to be dumped. Except for you. You're like refuse or some shit. Go away. D-H, because I don't mind the holes. I can plug them up. It's no big deal, really. It's just really annoying to deal with, so they should be getting onto that pretty quickly. I don't know how many miners we have left. I think we still have 5. I remember somebody died not that long ago from bleeding. Well, I was unpausing it. I think that's one of the reasons. You know what? No, I think that was a long time ago. So never mind. I don't know what the fuck I'm worried about. I get like really worried sometimes for no reason because I'm trying to think of every conceivable fucking thing that could ever screw us up, because there is so much that at any point could just rear its ugly head and screw us over. But we have gotten quite a lot of stone now, just by digging out the side. And since we're getting so close to this being done, I will actually set this to be dug, and I'm actually going to move on to building the walls, because as soon as they get this done, I can just very easily open up the bedrooms down there to start being dug, and then we will be in the clear for what we need to do with our miners for quite some time, because that will give them a lot to do. I'm also surprised I have not even once during the course of digging out the side of this mountain once flubbed it up and actually dug into the volcano. I've done that before in doing stuff like this, and it's not fun. Just a quick check over to make sure I didn't do that as I say it, but still. Resume! We'll set our miners to do that, and I'm gonna go looking dwarf therapist real quick while that's going on, and I'm gonna check. We're gonna go with nothing right real quick. What is everybody's masonry? We do have 5 masons and stone detailers of varying skill, and those are going to be the ones that will build the walls. That being said, I will set his animal care. Okay, alright, so the next thing we're going to do, while we're building, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to have kind of a split thing here. I'm going to be designating dwarves. See, we're at 35. I thought we were at higher than that just a second ago. What happened? I don't even know. So, the miners are doing that. The 2 things that we really need to get going with is farms and walls. We need the walls for protection. We need the farms for food. And with the farms comes the brewing. With the brewing comes the alcohol. And with the alcohol, everything falls into place and everything's good to go. But the alcohol cannot be gotten until the farms. And if we don't have alcohol, that pisses off all the dwarves. So we're going to need farmers. And considering we have 35 dwarves, I'm actually thinking about getting 10 farmers right off, like... Okay, I'm trying to think about how many I want, but I'm thinking about having just 10 farmers, and them to be the only farmers we ever have. Like, ever. Even if they die, I mean, we can just go down to 1 farmer, and it won't even fucking matter. Also, before I forget, let us set up I do want some mechanisms, so that we can actually make the levers here in a minute, but, alright. Alright, so let us actually set all the miners up here. Can we set multiple things? I think we can. Yes, we can. So, okay, so that's going to put all the people who don't have the mining, carpentry, and masonry are all up there. So these people down here are the ones that don't have any jobs. So we're going to take the bottom 10 people. That person is a child. Has succumbed to infection. Yeah, we also are going to need a doctor eventually, but having them die isn't that big of an issue. So, kind of sucks, but mining and masonry are really the only 2 real ones that I'm worried about fucking with, but we'll just take him out of the way. Okay, so this person is a child fish dissector. So, I'm actually going to add a new custom profession here. We're gonna name it farmer, and in it we're going to set up farming for fields, and we're gonna set up plant gathering, plant processing. I don't know what else specifically I want. We'll add shearing. Should I add spinning? We'll set up cheese making too. Milling. because the milling is, I think that's all we really need to do. So, yeah, so we'll set up you. Are you a kid? Okay, we'll